All right, guys. So let's check the markets for today. Forex market. It's depends what you see, really. I think we are having a good moves. In some in some majors here. If you look, the euro is still pretty much at the lows, not moving too much, but still, not really bouncing so far. The cable, it's the one that is moving very aggressively up and down, which depends on what side you are. You're quite happy with it. The dollar yen is what we're gonna speak about, and especially the yen and the commodity pairs, Oz and Kiwi, has been really good moves there. The Canadian as well, some good moves, and the Swissy a little bit stuck, but it's
Mhm.
moving quite nicely here.
Sideways.
Yeah, so the dollar index here. So let's have a quick review of what we saw. So the weekly here shows why we bottom, which is this channel that we are, and then we bottom. We created here some kind of a hammer confirmation. Here we are moving up. So today, this week here is pretty much the fourth week which we still green, which it's quite a bullish move, and this is the key here on the daily, which we have seen here, and what we've drawn is that a move and a close above this yellow zone, we will probably target the next area, which is going to be around the 618 and the resistance area as well. So I think that the dollar, it's bullish and will probably continue until we get to this point. Right now, I don't see any reasons to believe that we're gonna stop here right now and move lower. RSI is still at 60. We are above the moving averages now, so I think this area now is gonna serve as resistance, and as a magnet. So I think we come here and then somewhere, and then when we get here, that's where we can see what can happen next. Maybe we can go down again, and maybe a range, I don't know, or something like that, building up somewhere here. But I don't see it the market stopping here right now. Only if a fundamental things comes out and reverse this. But I really think that we are moving up. So the 618, I think the next area is going to be that 98.40 area. If we go to the 4 hour, looks like we had a bullish flag here. So 98, this one is pretty much the target, the flag target is pointing to 98.13 area. So I think that can be maybe the resistance for today. Maybe I think the market already moved quite nicely already, so maybe move here and then stop, go down, maybe touch this trend line here, and then maybe go to 98.40, which we just saw on the daily here. So keep an eye on this trend line here. We already have three lows. Any move down to this trend line here, I think we should use as a buying opportunity if it comes back to this trend line, and a target somewhere here where we knows it before. Okay, so that's what I see going forward. Maybe you can actually maybe try it at a trend line like this, which maybe is
Channel.
channel. Yeah, yeah, it is pretty much. Let me clone this one here then. Um, yeah, it's gonna serve us as a channel here. So, you know, um,
Area.
so that's gonna point to that target that we are aiming on the daily, which is the 98.40. So I think that's how we're gonna do really. Come here and then go to 98.40, which is going to be the top of this channel, and then maybe do maybe get to the range kind of mode here going forward. So this is what I see. So I see the dollar to go higher a little bit more, but maybe tomorrow, maybe don't forget that on Wednesday we have the FOMC, by the way. So
Hmm.
let's have a quick look here. So if we look the Fed watch tool, you're gonna see that the market, it's not pricing in and don't believe that we're gonna have a cut or hike. So the current rate, so that's 90% that we're not gonna change. So, but depends really what they see, right? That the plot is very important. The language that they use, even if they don't cut or don't change anything, uh, the language can really impact the market. So that's going to be on Wednesday. So keep that in mind going forwards. Anything, Jen, that you want to add?
No.
All the same, right? So
Yeah, I'm looking at the same thing too.
yeah, so the euro pretty much the same thing, but the opposite direction, really. Moving down, but here we are at the 618. But if you ask me, do I believe we're gonna stop here? I have my questions because I can easily as well see him maybe coming down here, stop some people out just here, and then reverse, you know, and then whatever he needs to do. So it's not gonna surprise me if he goes to this 0981, which is the last low, make a new low just below, and then maybe stop and move up. That's not going to surprise me. But use the dollar index as well as your timing. Yeah, if you, at the same time that we reach 98.40, if the euro is here 0981, keep in mind, because then we can have a good reaction there regarding ready.
Sorry.
The dollar euro here, guys. Same thing as the dollar index. Keep an eye on this trend line here. I think any move up here, it might serve
Good
as,
sell opportunity.
yeah. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but I would think that you can see here some kind of resistance here as well. So 1066 would be perfect to sell this on the euro here. Cable, did you say anything you guys want to add?
Nope.
All right.
66.
Cable, it's the one I'm not too sure what to do. I see a lot of people trying to sell to trade this, but I don't see it as a market that is clean. One thing is clean is that we have this triangle which we probably broke a few days ago, but I don't know, we're taking too much time going up. And not yesterday's, but Friday's candle is not a very bullish candle because we broke new highs and then closed very red. For me, that looks like a false breakout above the highs. So maybe that is the first sign of maybe a top building up and this thing is just going to squeeze lower. But at the same time, we are pretty much retesting the triangle now. So it's not a great place to sell either. So I think it's a market that I think we need to wait a little bit more, see what it wants to do, and then take some actions. But I don't see, as a pair that I want to do anything here right now. I think we have to wait for a few more days to keep in mind. And one thing to point it out as well is that
When is the Brexit?
Brexit is end of this month, but I think that's price in. But one thing we have to point it out is this here. This is the BOE watch, okay? So it's not the Fed, it's the BOE, which we have as well this week.
It's much more for cutting.
It's nearly 50-50 here, and one thing is for sure, any central bank, especially the BOE, they don't really like to know and make the market 50-50 because that can really spike the market up or down very quickly. So it's not going to surprise me to see any BOE member coming out and say something just to make sure that this goes really up or down and make this not a 50-50 chance, but one that is already certain. Because when they go to the BOE, they can give more information and that will less impact the market. So it's not going to surprise me. And that's one more reason why I'm not going to trade the cable before the BOE, because that is a chance as well for any member coming out and say something that will make these numbers change from 50-50 to something more bigger in one of those two sides. I don't know. So that's not going to surprise me either. So just keep that in mind that we have the BOE, and I think this market needs a little bit more time before we really get into. Dollar yen is the one that it 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 it, it came. It's moving nicely for the last few days. We gapped lower because of the news of the weekend from the coronavirus, and this thing is really moving up. If we look this chart here, you can see that the confirmed cases, it's really moving up. It's not really stopping. I just refreshed my page, and 2 hours ago, just for you guys to have an idea, and I actually saved in here, so I can keep on track on what is happening. But if you guys look, I took this screenshot about 2 hours ago. It was 2,794. If you look what is now, is pretty much 100 more and one more death, which was 80 before and 54 now is 81. So
Scary.
the numbers are increasing, and I think as more the numbers increase, that more as a risk will come, because if you look around China, it's pretty much all across China pretty much, and now we are moving to other countries. Australia has one case. If you look, Europe, one in France already, United States, about 4 there, one Chicago and 2 here in the US. So things are spreading a little bit. So if we see more numbers, in Europe and US, that's going to be a bit more worrying going forward. So that can add more risk, in my opinion. So dollar yen, I think still, it's what index does. Really, it's not a surprise. So while S&P 500 remains weak as it is, I think the dollar yen really is going to go down with it. But if this starts to jump, which is trying to do right now, by the way, keep that in mind. A bullish engulfing here, so that's something that we need to point out. Okay, Guilherme, you're the one who likes candlesticks a lot. This is a beautiful candlestick, in my opinion. A new low, a bullish, a very good close. So if this close on green, or when we get the confirmation here, I think this can base out, and I think we need to aim at 32.70 and then 32.95 going forward, in my opinion. And you guys can probably see why I aim for these two places. So let me note this down. So I'm aiming around pretty much where around this place here. And then finally, if we break that, I will probably assume that we're going to come here next in the S&P. So this is probably going to be my dollar yen meter. If I see, equities breaking here, I'm not going to really sell any cross pairs until we reach this here. And I'm watching these gaps, gap on dollar yen. If we look other pairs, so Aussie yen, a gap there to fill. Let's see if there is a Q yen even bigger. Euro yen, I don't think there is one. No, it closed overnight. Pound yen closed overnight too. So ones to keep in mind: Kiwi yen, Aussie yen, and what else did I say?
Yen, CAD yen, yeah.
CAD yen, maybe another one to keep in mind. So, some cross pairs to think about, but it really depends on what stocks does. And I think for the next few hours, it's going to be very interesting to know exactly what can happen here going forward. And keep in mind this coronavirus thing, because as more the numbers increase there, more risk the market is going to feel. And regarding stock market, I think you need to keep in mind this. I think this is one more reason why I think we are in a very, very interesting place on S&P and anywhere else. The VIX, the volatility index, negative correlation, pretty much. So as higher this goes, the lower stocks will go, and we are pretty much at resistance right now, I think. And this it's probably is gonna really impact the market if we start moving, really breaking this through, and especially if we start breaking, the last time the stocks really fall apart you know, a little bit. So if we start breaking up here, that's when I think, you know, people will, you know, start thinking about what, you know, what assets they want to keep on their assets. So those were the ones I'm keeping in mind. So this dollar yen for me, first resistance is going to be around here, around this 0920 with the gap. You know, let's keep in mind there if we can close the gap and then move down. Keep an eye on equities as well. If equity starts to jump and break the first resistance, you probably can think about maybe dollar yen coming back here again and maybe reverse from there. Okay, so keep that in mind on dollar yen in my view. Dollar Swiss, it's one that one thing I'm looking here is, can we break above this trend line here? If we do break this trend line here, that's where I think the euro is really going to start falling, and this thing is going to really start spiking a little bit up, and then, you know, resistance, you know, while we below here, there is a risk for this only being a period, only a range. But if we do, you know, break this trend line, come here and then start breaking this yellow zone that we have, I think that's where this thing can start really changing from bearish to bullish. But for now, still very, you know, very choppy. And keep in mind this trend line here, guys. Already 3 highs there, pretty much. So, and by the way, Guilherme pointed out in the chat room today is that we have a shooting star here, and we do, you know, we do their confirmation here. So there is the signs that this thing can really turn here. Lower, so move here can actually point somewhere here next, or at least. So one good sign there. Nice high, Guilherme. Very nice. So that one is to keep in mind. I think you like this one as well, isn't it, really?
Me? I'm not reading this one.
Yeah. But looks really nice, the setup, isn't it? Trend line, candlestick. Really nice. End of force breakout here as well. You can see
confirmation.
A new high. Confirmation, yeah. So really nice setup there. Dollar Canadian, you know, this thing is really spiking up. I think it's a bit of an exaggeration here, a bit of maybe a fat fingering kind of mode. That's what I see. But one thing I'm disappointing is that I was really hoping that we could probably break this last high here, this high, just make a, you know, a new high and then reverse lower, and it's not really what happened. It came a bit early, and now it's trying to make a stop here, and I'm not too sure if this is the high. I think it is, but I was really hoping for this to really be a new high there. But what can we do now? Should we sell hard and think that we're going to drop really hard? I'm not too sure. Really depends what happens here as well. Keep that in mind. Oil has been really collapsing for the last few days. So
a gap fill again.
Yeah, it can be one. But we're really getting close here to some key support. Oil, if you think about. Yeah, we came very close to this trend line support there. So maybe, you know, kind of a doji kind of candle here, it looks like. So I don't know, maybe this is the bottom, and if this starts to reverse, then of course you can start really thinking about dollar Canadian coming back to maybe 131. If we do drop below 31, I think this is the level that, you know, if we drop below, I think maybe you can stop something bigger.
If you look the weekly, there's a big trend line at 3-1.
Yeah, so yeah, but the problem I have is that we were looking this weekly trend line, which we dropped below, but look what is happening now. It's coming back up. So if you look long term, you have reasons to believe that we're going to go a lot higher now because we have maybe a first breakout. But if you look short term, you can think about maybe a top building up. So yeah, it's the thing. It's not my favorite setup right now.
It can easily come back to the 3-1 level for the retest of his range mode.
31, maybe, yeah.
and then go a lot higher.
Yeah, I think it's worth more to be seller here than buyer. That's for sure. 618, everything is pretty much
At
here.
this level, you mean?
Yeah, where we are now, I think
Okay.
it's not worth doing anything. More selling than buying somewhere here. I prefer to be a seller here than a buyer. But I
It
don't
comes
know.
back to the 3-1, I would buy it.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Yeah, the risk reward here on some key levels that you play, it's really nice.
Let me put another there.
Yeah, but that's dollar Canadian. I think really it's one to keep in mind. Lozzie, let's keep an eye on this one. This is the one I'm watching very closely. It's getting very close to this last big low that we made. And what I'm thinking here is that this market will probably very quickly just make a new low and then pop. A correction here for me, it's gonna be very nice. It's not. I'm not thinking here the market is going to reverse, but I think we have a kind of a correction to make here. So make a new low and then a retest of this 618 68 handle. I think that's going to be perfect. Perfect if this happens, but it's a little bit overextended. I think just well below the ATR already.
It's almost at my target.
Close to the S4, a lot of things here. So it's not going to surprise me, make a new low very quickly and then stop and then have a healthy correction before moving down again. But this market for me, it's breaking. I think I really do. It didn't respect what gold did, moving up, which gold is, by the way, very positive on the day, and you look what the Oz is on the day. It's very bad, but of course that's the pressure of equities, of course. But if equities, I think equities can stop here. If you look at S&P daily, especially, channel support here, maybe a correction here, maybe a stop, maybe it's going to stop here, do nothing, and that can maybe push the Aussie a bit up, but equities moved, up, as you probably know, for the last few days, and the Aussie didn't respect that. So that's why one of the warning signs I gave you guys was this: don't buy this, because it's not really respecting, and it's not taking positive data, positive news, positive development into account. So that was the first sign of this was very heavy. So let's see what happens today. If we can actually make a new low here and then maybe a correction coming up. So resistance here is going to be around the 68 handle. A move there, I think it's a great opportunity to sell. If we don't respect that, then I don't know, because we don't have a proper low here, but you can see here that it's going to be around the 68.20 area next, if we break the 68 handle. So this is the place where I want to start, adding shorts again. By the way, I have a short already in the money.
Same.
I'm still holding there. I'm thinking about it if I should close here at the
That's my
low.
target.
I'm thinking about it.
67.55 is my target.
Maybe I can use my shorts to hedge against my long if I do open a long. These things are coming to my mind right now, which I'm thinking about, see what I really want to do. But one thing is for sure, profit is profit only when we close the trade, right? So
True.
yeah, I don't want to lose the profit I have here, but at the same time, I can use the trade that I have, which is very positive at the moment, which is from here, somewhere here. I can use that to protect myself, because I can get long here, and
Wait for the correction.
and then come here, close the long, open more shorts, and this here just protects me, because if the market reverse against my face, I can close with this in profit, if I want to. So that's my thinking behind it. The QE, not my favorite chart, only because I don't see anything here which it's very strong. Like the Aussie, we have really good formations too. Really good formations. You can see I cannot add a trend line here without knowing where I want to add. You know, it's a big difference here between these two lows. So I cannot add a trend line there. This trend line only two highs. But I quite like the reaction we had on both sides. So I'm not sure. But one thing is for sure, we are approaching this 38.2 here. So this same as the Aussie. We are approaching very good support here. So I get here, maybe we can get a correction here, stuff like this to happen. So that's my thinking behind the commodity pairs here, but really depends on what the equity market does going forward. You can see it's pretty much not doing much right now. So yeah, but keep in mind, I think the commodity pairs is the ones to really keep an eye. Let's go to other markets now. So gold is at 618 here, by the way, or to pretty much where we find it resistance first time we went up here. So it's really good resistance area here, in my opinion. So should I sell gold here? I'm not too sure. But one thing is for sure, and nobody's talking about it, but this can actually be like something like this is actually building up. So it's not going to surprise me.
Love triangles.
Yeah. So it's not going to surprise me if this starts to build up like a triangle here on gold. Too early to really confirm if this is a triangle. But if you see this market going lower and then starts to do the same thing as it's doing here, indecision candles here, you probably can guess that jump. Then you can start using the triangle here going forward. So that is what I think here in the gold market. Silver, same thing. Not too sure what to do here. But it does look like a market that wants to maybe something like this possible. Can be. Right? So that's to think about, guys. S&P we already spoke about, so no need to. The DAX is at this rising wedge trend line. I did some scalping on it, which worked quite nicely. But it's one trend line to keep in mind, especially for tomorrow. Depends where we close today. Tomorrow is going to be key. If we do start breaking to see trend line breaking, or if we do close below trend line today, I think that's a huge thing. Keep in mind as well Asian markets. So keep an eye on the Japanese equities. Okay, if we do start breaking the zone here, that's going to be quite a good, good something to think about, especially the Chinese one, the Shanghai. This one here really reversed from a very, very beautiful trend line here for the fourth time. And yeah, so it's going to be very interesting if we do start breaking this lower one, right? From a market that was pretty much going up like American ones straight away, it's now giving up those upside moves very quickly, a lot quicker than the up move, right? So keep that in mind. The equities, but you can see we broke new lows and pretty much holding here right now. Anything else? Anything else?
But Aussie New Zealand?
Aussie, New Zealand. Um,
I'm still short in this one.
yeah, but we are diverging here.
Mm,
But it's not gonna surprise. I think there is a chance for this to come here somewhere anyway.
mm. Yep, that's
Yeah,
my target.
yeah. So it is diverging and quite a lot in the daily, by the way. Um, yeah, I think it's the one I'm keeping my eye on myself. Um, to see here. Yeah, so around this 0276 somewhere there, which is the same area that we have this zone anyway. Yeah, it's gonna be very nice to see something like this happening here. So I mean, I am adding an alert there already, so don't forget. What about the Euro Aussie? Yes, the Euro Aussie, same thing. Going back to this resistance area. Not sure what to do here, but does look. I don't know.
Not the cleanest.
Yeah,
Take the high. Maybe if you do the top trend line a bit sharper.
the top.
Yeah, the top.
What do you mean? Like this?
Yeah.
No,
No.
it doesn't have too many highs there. Yeah, I think there's one, but I don't know. Gets to this resistance anyway. Used to be one of my favorite markets, but it's now it's very rangy. If we look the weekly here, for example, you can see, how bad it is really. Pound Aussie maybe. This is interesting. This one is one, isn't it? Really? What do you think?
Mm-hmm. Double
Not that
channel.
it's not diverging. Let's look the weekly. Let's clean here. So okay, we're probably on the 786 right now. Yes. Um, quite like this trade. I quite like this market. Very beautiful trend line there. It's not one that we should use anyway right now because we're quite far away from it. But I really like this market. One to keep in mind for sure. Pound Aussie, yeah.
Still a cable pair.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But the thing is, because we have this trend line here quite below, I think we can start using this in the next few days,
Retest again.
because then maybe the market is going to be somewhere here,
Mm-hmm.
and then if the data comes, probably close here, and then that's where you can start thinking about doing something.
The
Yeah,
Aussie jumps, yeah.
yeah, that's that's the thing. I don't see that happening.
Me neither.
Well, it is squeezing down right now.
Ooh, target. Almost there. 3 pips.
Keep in mind that low, yeah? We're probably gonna
Uh,
67.54.
Come on, baby. 2.5 pips to target.
About 3 pips away. Let's see. Really falling apart.
Come on, baby.
Really nice, yeah. Anyway, guys, that's all I have today. So you guys know what I expect to do. Thanks very much for watching the video. Please don't forget to leave your like. It's gonna help us quite a lot, and subscribe to our channel.
No.
Thanks so much, guys.
You, Thiago.
Take care.